They didn't leave you because you did something wrong. They left because your presence exposed everything they were pretending to be. And that's the painful truth about why chosen ones often walk this life without friends. From the outside, it seems like you're distant, too intense, maybe even antisocial. But what the world doesn't see is how many times you tried, how many times you poured love, loyalty, and light into others, only to be met with envy, betrayal, or silence. It's not that you don't want friends. It's that you can no longer pretend to fit into spaces that shrink your soul. You see, chosen ones carry a frequency that most people aren't ready to handle. It's not loud or flashy. It's quiet, powerful, and deeply uncomfortable to those who live on the surface. When you walk into a room, your energy speaks before you do. And not everyone is ready to hear what it says. You don't even have to say a word. And still people will feel exposed in your presence. Why? Because your very existence is a mirror. You reflect the truth that others are trying to avoid. You embody authenticity in a world built on performance. You ask real questions. You speak with depth. You see through masks, and it terrifies people who are hiding behind them. This is why, as a child, you were probably called too sensitive or too quiet. You felt things others ignored. You noticed what others dismissed. While others played, you observed. You watched the patterns, the energies, the unsaid pain in people's eyes. You were always different, and deep down, you knew it. But being different comes at a cost. It means walking a path that few understand. It means losing people who once meant everything to you, not because you changed, but because you finally stopped dimming your light just to make them feel comfortable. Chosen ones are not lonely because they lack social skills. You can be charming, kind, funny, and still feel completely disconnected because surface-level conversations drain you. Gossip, small talk, meaningless drama. It exhausts your spirit. You crave depth, connection, truth, and that's rare. Most people are addicted to distraction, but you crave clarity. Most people want to be liked. You want to be understood. And there lies the gap. The painful space between what the world offers and what your soul needs. You may have noticed how friends slowly began to disappear the more you grew. The more you healed, the more they faded. Not because you became arrogant, but because they weren't ready to face themselves. Your growth reminded them of the work they hadn't done. Your peace reminded them of their chaos. And so, they had to go. And still, you mourned them. Because you loved them. You saw their potential. You stayed longer than you should have, hoping they would rise too. But not everyone is meant to go where you're going. Some were chapters, not lifetimes. Teachers, not partners. Lessons, not soul tribe. One of the hardest things for a chosen one to accept is that not everyone can come with you. The path is narrow. And those who walk beside, you must be able to handle the altitude of your calling. This isn't pride. It's spiritual reality. When you're chosen, you carry a different assignment. You're here to awaken, not entertain. To shift energy, not conform to it. You're here to break chains, not decorate them. And that's not the kind of energy most people are used to. You don't just talk about change, you embody it. You don't just speak truth, you live it. And that creates tension in the lives of people who are still pretending. They may love you in private, but in public, they distance themselves. Not because you've done anything wrong, but because standing next to you means they can no longer hide. So yes, it gets lonely. Yes, it hurts when people you thought would ride with you suddenly disappear. It hurts when you're the one always reaching out, always giving, always supporting, until you finally realize it's not mutual. But here's the thing, your loneliness is not a curse. It's protection. It's sacred space for your spirit to grow without interference. It's divine separation, so that when the real ones come, you'll recognize them. Because your tribe isn't made up of the many. It's made up of the few. The rare souls who speak your language without words, who feel like home without effort, who don't drain your energy, but expand it. They're out there. But you won't find them while you're clinging to those who only tolerate your light. You find them when you stop apologizing for your glow. When you finally accept that you weren't made to fit in, you were made to stand out. And maybe you were meant to be alone for a season, so that when your tribe shows up, you no longer settle for fragments of love. You wait for the full thing. You wait for energy that feels right, not just familiar. Because familiarity can be a prison. But resonance is freedom. You don't need many friends. You just need real ones. Even one. One soul that truly sees you is worth more than 100 who only pretend to. But before that soul finds you, you must first become that friend to yourself. Be the sanctuary you've been seeking. Be the love, the understanding, the safety you've searched for in others. Because when you finally feel at home within yourself, no loss can shake you, and no fake friendship can distract you. You'll stop craving validation and start vibrating on a level where only truth can find you. You're not hard to love. You're just hard to fool. And in a world full of illusion, that makes you rare. And rare things, they're not found everywhere. They're discovered by those willing to go deeper. You're not antisocial. You're discerning. You've seen too much, felt too deeply, been burned by too many masks pretending to be faces, and that's why you move differently now. The old you would have chased them, would have tried to explain yourself, tried to prove your worth, tried to fix what wasn't yours to fix. But the evolved you let silence speak for you. You let energy reveal intentions. You let people leave, and you don't chase. Because you finally know, what's meant for you will never need to be forced. And what isn't meant for you will always feel heavy, confusing, unclear. That's how the universe protects you, by making misaligned connections uncomfortable. Chosen ones often struggle with friendships not because they don't want connection, but because they require truth, and truth is rare. You see beyond the facade. You notice the shifts in tone, the slight hesitations, the contradictions. You read energy like a book. You pick up on what's not said, and that makes people nervous. They can't lie to you, not for long. They can try, but your soul knows before your mind even catches up. You don't expose people to humiliate them. You expose them by simply being real. That's why they avoid you, because they don't want to be seen. They don't want to grow. And standing next to you means they'd have to. That's a lonely place to live in. To know that the depth of your soul is too much for shallow people. To realize that your love is too intense for those who only know how to receive attention, not intimacy. To love people and still have to let them go. Not because you stopped caring, but because they stopped being real. People will call you intimidating, but that's only because they can't manipulate you. They'll say you think you're better, but that's because you finally set boundaries. They'll say you changed, and they're right. You grew, you healed, and now you don't accept the bare minimum dressed up as friendship. You'd rather sit in silence with your own soul than surround yourself with people who secretly resent you. You'd rather be alone in your truth than in company that requires you to lie about who you are. And maybe that's what this season of isolation is teaching you. That your peace is more important than popularity. That your truth is more important than being included. That your purpose will cost you comfort, but it will reward you with power. A power that only comes through walking alone. But you're not truly alone. You've got something many never find. The clarity of knowing yourself, the gift of self-awareness, the strength of self-trust. You've walked through fires that would have destroyed others, and still, you're here, standing, glowing, healing, rising. Every time they left, you rose. Every time they betrayed you, you got wiser. Every time they underestimated you, you became more powerful, not by proving anything to them, but by proving everything to yourself. So if you've been wondering why your circle keeps getting smaller, this is why. You're being refined, elevated, protected. God is clearing the room before your blessing arrives. He's removing distractions. He's stripping away the fake so you'll be able to recognize the real. Because when the right ones show up, you'll feel it. There won't be confusion. No guessing games. No energy imbalances. You won't have to chase. You'll just align. They'll respect your boundaries. They'll honor your presence. They'll add to your peace, not disturb it. But until then, protect your space. Guard your energy like it's sacred, because it is. You are. Don't shrink so others feel tall. Don't silence yourself so others feel safe. Don't lower your standards just to feel less alone. The moment you settle for less, you delay the arrival of what's meant for you. Let people misunderstand you. Let them talk. Let them assume. That's not your burden to carry. Your only job is to stay in alignment, to stay grounded in truth, to keep your heart open but guarded with wisdom. And yes, there will be nights where it hurts. Nights where the silence gets loud. Nights where the memories of lost friendships hit hard. But even in those moments, know this: you were never meant to fit in. You were meant to awaken.